Hello and welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Well, now, as the 4.0 magnitude earthquake struck Delhi NCR early morning at depth of 5 kilometers with its epicenter near Delhi, we continue to track the latest updates on this report. Well, the tremors lasted a few seconds and was strong enough to be felt in the residential areas. As you all can see on your TV screens, and you might have also experienced this early in the morning, the tremors were strong enough and it was shaky, causing panic among the residents. Now, as someone who actually also lives in a high-rise building, I felt the tremor firsthand. Now, joining us on the broadcast is another colleague and correspondent, Pallavi Ghosh. A very good morning, Pallavi. Pallavi, it was hard to ignore the sense of unease in the morning. What was your experience like, and do you really feel that the citizens of National Capital Region are actually prepared for such kind of situations in the near future?
Well, to answer both your questions first, like you, I live in a high-rise building, and one feels the impact of the tremor more when you're in the high-rise. So that's always going to be an area of concern. I mean, suddenly you find not just in the national capital, but also in the entire NCR regions, we see high-rise buildings have become very, very common. Most of them are, of course, before they get that clearance, are expected to be earthquake resistant, but that doesn't mean that it brings down your fear factor. Of course, a sense of panic, and despite the assurances going in from the seismic department that, we need to be careful, but we don't need to panic. There are very strict do's and don'ts also, Kurina, which has to be followed whenever a tremor is felt, or a strong one, and Delhi being an epicenter after many, many years later. That having said that, I think at this point of time that there is the need that there should be no sense of panic. As I said, there are strict do's and don'ts which also needs to be followed. Delhi, of course, is considered to be also very vulnerable for multiple reasons. One is the uncontrolled construction which has taken place in many areas. Second, pockets of Delhi are very, very densely populated.
Indeed.
Over there, what kind of an escape route, what kind of an insurance that you make that, they are going to be earthquake resistant. These are, of course, an area of concern. And without pun intended, I think it's also a wake-up call that perhaps we all need to be earthquake ready in that sense, as far as the entire NCR region is concerned.
Well, you've rightly pointed out, Pallavi Ghosh, this indeed is a wake-up call for the netizens of the National Capital Region to remain prepared. As someone directly impacted by this morning's tremors, there are largely looming questions on my mind too, and I'm sure many of you also are feeling the same. Now, let's continue to stay informed and prepared. But with that, joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Sumitra Mukherjee, Professor, former and Dean of School of Environmental Sciences of JNU. A very good morning, Mr. Mukherjee. Well, help us understand. For those who live near Delhi's major fault lines, how do you assess the risks now? Because this was a very massive jolt that the netizens of the National Capital Region felt this morning.
Yeah, this is a 4.0 Richter scale earthquake.
Indeed.
However, the jolt was very heavy because it was very shallow. Its focus was not more than 5 kilometers below the surface of the earth. So the thing is that there are different types of earthquakes in which the Delhi is experiencing. Even in 1960, there was an earthquake of 6.0 Richter scale, and its epicenter was in Karol Bagh. So the thing is that we cannot stop this movement of the subsurface strata or the rocks. But the thing is that above the surface, where the buildings are there, so we can look the safety of the building as well as the retrofitting if the old building is there, and seismic zonation on a very high resolution by using very high resolution satellite data can be used, because there are some before the micro tremor. The earth is giving some signals, and that signals is all of a sudden in some places the water level is going down. Then that may be a signal of the precursor of the earthquake. If the vegetations are dry, if the natural vegetations are drying, that may be a precursor of the earthquake. So all these things we need to map by using a very high resolution satellite data, because all the time that all the areas are not exposed, because there are buildings, but there are some precursors which can give us some information before the earthquake. If we are able to know that some area is earthquake prone, then we can take a precautionary measure, and the building and the life can be saved.
Right, Dr. Mukherjee, did you yourself feel the jolt, and this earthquake was really strong enough to wake us all up? So are you
Yes,
actually?
I felt it. I felt it. Just I used to wake up early in the morning. So at the before the even the before the earthquake, I was feeling some sound. So I right now I'm in Greater Noida. My office is here only in the new earth and environmental research we have developed. So we are also working in this field for several decades. And in Delhi, when I was living in Jawaharlal Nehru University, that time also I felt a few earthquakes. But this time also I felt this earthquake. But the thing is that I heard some sound also.
Indeed,
Along with
indeed. Dr.
earthquake.
Mukherjee, this is a constant thing that we've been tracking from the ground from the last few minutes. On the ground reports and
Yes.
all the correspondents connecting with us, everybody has been interestingly pointing out at this rumbling sound that was followed by the tremors. So are you also concerned about the possibility of stronger earthquakes in the future? And how do you explain this sound?
Which is that the sound is due to the rocks which are separated one from another, because there is a stress was developed for a long time, and now the stress is released due to the rock is broken up, and when the rock is broken up, then since this is a very shallow focus earthquake, so I don't think there will be in near future there will be a bigger earthquake. So that is there. But if it would have been a very deep focus earthquake, then we would have been more cautious about it. But however, the shallow or the deep, but the thing is that we have to be careful, and we have to do the more research on this early warning research. Because after the earthquake, after the earthquake, the disaster management is being done, but that is not good for the people. Good for the people is that their building should be safe, their life should be saved.
Right. Thank you so much, Professor Mukherjee, for joining us on the broadcast and sharing your valuable insights with us today. Your expertise will help us shed light on the bigger picture. And with all those news and updates, we are now slipping into a very short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more.